Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video I want to give you a warning. Beware the doctor who makes you do this one thing. So let me tell you what's going on and why I'm shooting you this video. I represent a lady who was in a car crash and was out in the burbs, in the suburbs. So, I handle cases all over Illinois for injured people. I do most of my work is car crash and lots of workers' comp, work injury. But I do fall down cases, dog bite, like medical malpractice, you name it. If it's an injury case, I handle it. But this was a car crash. Pretty straightforward case, but limited insurance policies. So we've got, an amount of medical bills that at the end of the case, I got the lady the full insurance policy. So I got her every penny available. And, once that happens, one of my biggest fights is with the doctors to cut their bills down, because it's part of my job to cut the doctor's bills down as low as possible to put as much money in my client's pocket. So I do it, but what I do is I'm not dishonest. What I do is I've got a letter that I send out that has all of the numbers, right? And it cites the laws that say what kind of haircut the doctor's got to take on their bills, right? But I give them all the numbers. So this way, when the doctor's office gets my offer, if the doctor has a lien on the case, there's no question. They have all the numbers. They can do the math themselves if they want to. And I offer them pretty much, what they're due under the Lien Act, because, especially on a case like this where the medical bills are approaching the full amount of the insurance policy, all of the doctors are going to take a haircut. And any doctor who does lots of this work knows that, right? And if you treat injured people, some of the cases you're going to get paid very well. Some of the cases you're not going to get paid at all. Some of the cases you're going to have to take a reduction if there's not that much money to spread around, and like I said, I'm fair. I do it according to the law. I provide the doctor all the numbers. So I have my staff assist me, call the doctor's office after we send the agreements, because the doctors never deal with it. They always have like a secretary or a clerk or somebody like that handling the stuff for them. So we were calling and calling and calling and calling, couldn't get an answer. Finally, we're having a morning meeting. My secretary, Jennifer, comes to me and says, "Look, I'm talking to the doctor now. The doctor is really mean. She's really mean to me on the phone. They don't want to be reasonable. Can you please call her?" I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." So I just called her during the meeting, and I got the doctor on the phone, and the doctor faxed us a 2-page contract she had my client sign. Now, my client was treating with this doctor before I hired her, so I didn't know about this contract, but word of warning, if a doctor presents you with a contract, stay away from that doctor. So some doctors have gotten it into their head that having the client sign a contract saying that you agree to pay every penny of my bill, even if you have health insurance, even if you lose your case, even if the case, there isn't enough money to go around, you agree that my bill gets paid in full no matter what, out of the settlement, before even your lawyer gets paid. And this is an irrevocable contract, and you're assigning your case to me. I own the case as the doctor. I'm like, it's a ridiculous contract. Any doctor who sends you or wants you to sign a piece of paper like that in exchange for treating you, walk out of that doctor's office. Do not see a doctor like that, because the doctor does not have your best interests at heart. You are a dollar sign to them and nothing else. And it also creates World War III at the end of these cases, right? Because it may be that I end up having to file a lawsuit and litigating this contract that you signed. Now, I think the contract is so one-sided, and nobody really reads it or understands what's in it, that I think probably a court might overturn it, but then on the other hand, they might not. And, that's going to add a ton of time and a ton of cost to your case that makes these things like really, really hard to resolve, right? So you don't want a doctor who's aggressive. You don't want a doctor who doesn't believe you. You don't want a doctor who just sees you as a dollar sign. You don't want doctors like that. You want doctors who are reasonable, who listen to you, where you have a nice relationship with them, so that you tell them what's going on, they treat you, you cooperate to get you back on your feet and feeling better. You definitely don't want a doctor who makes you sign a contract where you're signing away your entire case for their benefit. I mean, look, I get it. The doctor needs to get paid, which is why I always, any doctor who has a claim on your case gets a call from me and they get paid what they're supposed to get paid, and I'll negotiate with them and try and reduce what they get paid, because it's my job to take care of the clients. But at the end of the day, if you've got a doctor who wants to take all the money in your case for themselves, this is not a reasonable person. So, I finally reached an agreement with the doctor after a long conversation with her, and she was very aggressive and very frankly disrespectful. But I kept my cool, and I just said, listen, this is the amount that you're getting in the case, period. If you don't want this amount, you're holding up my client's settlement. I'm going to have to file a lawsuit, and then we'll have a judge decide. And so she finally agreed to an amount, and she agreed. I told her, I'm going to write you a letter recounting everything I just explained to you, because obviously I was on the phone for a good 15 minutes or something like that, and I explained all the details to the doctor, how the law worked, all this stuff, right? And she finally agreed to sign. So I wrote the letter. I had my secretary send it to her. She wouldn't sign it. She wrote her own letter saying that we're agreeing to pay the full bill. And then she had the nerve to call my secretary and try and bully my secretary into signing it on my behalf. Now, luckily I had spoken with first of all, my secretary would never do that. She knows not to do things like that. But, the other thing is, I had talked to her about what the agreement was. I told her finally the doctor came around. But, boy, did that make me angry. This doctor was literally lying about the conversation we had a day before. She was reneging on her agreement, her promise to settle the case for the amount that we offered, or settle her medical lien for the amount. And I literally sent her an email saying, listen, I don't know if you recall the conversation. I suspect you do, because I took the time to write you a very detailed letter detailing everything we talked about on the phone. And I literally wrote in there, in my email to her, I do not appreciate dishonesty, and I do not appreciate you trying to bully my secretary into an agreement that you and I never made. So please sign the agreement and send it back to me immediately. And if you do not, I will file a lawsuit today. So anyway, that's kind of what happened. Guess what happened? She immediately signed the agreement and sent it back. So all's well that ends well, but don't work with doctors who do that. If you've got a bad doctor who's nothing but a capitalist, really is just about making money, doesn't care about you, you maybe need to find a different doctor. And that goes for lawyers too. If you have a lawyer who doesn't give a crap about you, treats you like a number, won't talk to you, won't answer your questions, find a better lawyer. They're out there. So anyway, I hope this information helps you. I think it's interesting for you to see some of the inside baseball of the stuff that goes on even after the case is settled with the insurance company. I think a lot of people don't realize that in some of these cases, I have a bigger fight once the case settles with the insurance company, because I have all of these other insurance companies and doctors' offices to fight with to cut the bill down, to get money in my client's pockets. So that's what this video is about. If you know anyone who needs a good, honest lawyer to represent them in your injury case, or if you just have questions about an injury case, I am always available for a free consultation, no obligation, available anytime, night or day, any day of the year. You can always call 312-500-4500. That's 312-500-4500. That phone number always gets picked up and answered, and we always get back to you. Once again, if you have a case, I'd be happy to hear about it. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them for free. So I hope to hear from you. If you don't really need to talk to a lawyer, I have some pretty cool tools on my website. The Case Cash calculator tells you what your case might be worth, and also the Do I Have a Good Case calculator. It tells you whether you have a good case or whether you have a case that might have some challenges. Those things are so quick and easy to fill out. You literally answer 6 or 7 multiple choice questions, hit submit. In 10 seconds, you get an answer, no lawyer to talk to, free and no obligation. Link for those tools in the description. And what else? If you enjoy my videos, please like this video and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified when I shoot a new video and I release one. I usually release videos like twice a week, always rotating topics, just stuff that comes up in my practice, or, or if something's going on, somebody asks me a question that I think would be a good video, I shoot the video. Finally, if you enjoy my videos and you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can leave me a 5-star review on Google. You literally cut and paste the URL into a web browser, you go there, you hit 5 stars, you say a kind word, hit submit. Takes you 5 seconds, but it is invaluable and a wonderful favor to me. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, it would really help me out. Again, link in the description. So I hope you and your family are well, and if I can be of service to you or anyone you know who needs a lawyer, please reach out. Otherwise, have a beautiful day and take care.